Welcome back, guys.
Good
To another
afternoon.
episode of TwoTreys podcast.
TwoTreys.
What's going on, Pops?
Assalamu alaikum, son.
Walaikum salam. How you feeling, Pops?
I'm blessed by Allah's grace, man. How about yourself, son? What's going on? What's going on in Sunshine State?
Man, doing good, feeling good. Working hard, doing these podcasts and
Yes, sir.
whole lot of things, man.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Again to another episode of TwoTreys podcast. As always, I am Son Trey, and with me is Pop Trey. And Pops, you want to go ahead and give him a quick spiel on why we do this every day?
Absolutely, son. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, this channel is to inspire and bridge the gap between the youth and the elders, the fathers and the sons, bringing perspectives of truth versus the falsehoods, and to reflect love and peace through the black community and the black man. So that is what we are here for and to do. All right?
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and get into the show. As always, we have our honorable black person of the day. So Pops, you want to go ahead and let them know who that is, and I'll go ahead and get that image up.
Yes, sir. Today we are honoring a brother by the name of Abraham Lincoln Lewis. Yes, sir. Brother Abraham Lincoln Lewis. There it is. There's his picture. Abraham Lincoln Lewis was born the son of a South Carolina blacksmith on March 29th, 1865 in Florida. Same birth date as your Uncle Troy. In 1901, he became a founder of Florida's first life insurance company, the Afro-American Life Insurance Company. 8 years later, he became the secretary and manager of the Memorial Cemetery Association and worked his way to the presidency of this organization. He also became the president of the Afro-American Life Insurance Company, and the business expanded to other states under his leadership. He then founded the National Negro Insurance Association in 1921. In 1935, he purchased oceanfront property on Amelia Island, Florida, and established American Beach, which many Gullah Geechee people flocked to with their families during segregation, and which is still in operation to this day. American Beach, in its heyday, included numerous black-owned hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs. As a result, his visionary work, A.L. Lewis became Florida's first black millionaire. Salute. Geechee, Abraham Lincoln Lewis.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's get straight into our topics for today.
Man, some things going on in the world.
So what?
Son.
This is Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, we already started.
So which story you want to get into first? You want to get into the food crisis that we tuned into, or you want to get into the athlete crisis?
Well, let's go to the athletes. Let's not
touch first.
Let's not gross the people out right away. Let's go ahead and let's serve up the Shikari Richardson, and let's talk about that for a second.
Yes, sir. So I have that story pulled up. So if you guys don't know who Shikari Richardson is, she is an Olympic runner. And this season during the Olympics, she was actually disqualified for testing positive for C, a chemical compound normally found in marijuana. The reason why we bring this up is because yesterday, Story was debuted. Oh, actually today, this morning, the story was debuted. Essentially of a double standard. So I'll actually go ahead and read what NPR.org has to say about the topic. So they titled the subject, Shikari Richardson sees a double standard in allowing Kamila Valieva to compete. U.S. sprinter Shikari Richardson is calling out Olympic and anti-doping officials after Russian skater Kamila Valieva was allowed to compete despite testing positive for a banned drug. In quotes, we have, can we get a solid on the difference between situations? Richardson asked on Twitter after the mediators ruled that Valieva should be allowed to skate in the women's individual competition in Beijing. The only difference I see is I'm a black young lady, Richardson said. It's all in the skin, she added. Goes on to say, let's see, Richardson won the 100-meter race at the U.S. Olympic trials early last summer, but after it was she had tested positive for THC, the intoxicant in marijuana, she was denied a chance to compete at the Tokyo Olympics. THC is on the World Anti-Doping Agency's list of prohibited substances, but so is trimetazidine. I'll go ahead and try that again. Trimetazidine. It's so weird. Okay, the drug was found in Valieva's test sample. The hard drug is believed to be able to boost athletes' endurance and blood efficiently. In other words, it can be used as an athletic performance, while THC does not. Without the difference in her tweets responding to the ruling on eligibility at the Winter Olympics. Richardson, who was like Valieva, was favored to win a medal in her sport, also noted a stark difference in how their positive tests were handled. While the Russian star failed a test that was submitted in December, she somehow avoided a suspension. News of the positive test only began to trickle out after Valieva helped win a gold medal in Beijing. In contrast, Richardson said her drug test result quickly became public knowledge. My name and talent was slaughtered to the people, she added. Valieva is being allowed to compete in Beijing under a cloud of suspicion, and in an extraordinary move, the International Olympic Committee says that if the Russian star wins, a medal ceremony won't take place until an investigation is completed. That could thrust the singles competition into the same limbo that has held up medals for the team, in which Russia took gold and this U.S. silver. Richardson's suspension just before the Tokyo Olympics triggered an outpouring of support for her and her criticism for anti-doping rules, particularly because cannabis has shed much of the stigma it once carried. Some U.S. states have legalized its use to some degree. Dr. Michael Joyner, a physician researcher on exercise physiology at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, told NPR last July that he was surprised at how weak the scientific evidence is for banning cannabis in athletes. In quotes, he says, I think it's a legacy of just poor regulation, of not specifically saying what drug is banned for which event, he said. And also the sort of madness holdover. Cannabis remains on the list of banned substances that the World Anti-Doping Agency released shortly after the Tokyo. But the agency said it will review, citing requests from a number of stakeholders and international athletes. And that was an article from NPR.org.
Wow.
So, Pops, you want to go ahead and touch on that real quick?
I mean, that's crazy, man. It's crazy that, the sister has to forfeit or not participate in the trials or the Olympic trials that she was taken out of due to a positive marijuana test, which is, all it's going to make you do is chill. You know what I mean? But this other young woman, is she from Russia? She's Russian, right?
Yeah, she plays. Yeah. Her nationality is Russian.
Right. Okay. So she's from Russia, which is obviously a disparaging contrast and she get tested for something that actually makes her body enhance in competing, in the ability of competing. That's crazy. And she is still allowed to participate? But the sister over here smoked a blunt and she couldn't participate? Yo, man, I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Shikari Richardson to even speak on it. Honestly,
you said
I think honestly it's a tragedy that she was she spoke on it. That's what has gotten it news. But like she was saying before she even spoke about the spotlight on this person's case for Leva's has not attracted as much as attention and controversy in comparison to her, where she took she smoked or however she used the marijuana. In comparison to her, she's actually being or using a performance enhancing to perform better during her competition. In comparison to her, I'm sure she was only using marijuana out of recreational use. So
I mean, I think the situation
it's crazy to me how
what happened with Shikari Richardson circumstances was that I think she lost a family member, either her mom or aunt, something like that. Somebody close to her had passed away, and she used marijuana as like we all do, use some sort of escape or mechanism to escape. She used marijuana to escape the pain of her lost family member. You know what I mean? So, it wasn't like she was just out partying and smoking and drinking. You know what I mean? A situation happened that she wasn't expecting. You know what I'm saying? But this Russian girl just
again, like I said, she was using it out of. She was using it with the intent to perform better during her competition. You're right.
Right.
And the fact that she's not at this point she still hasn't been disqualified or anything, it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I mean the double standard is obvious. And again, shouts out to Shikari Richardson to even speak on it.
Salute.
Because I don't think if Shikari wouldn't have said anything, we would have even talked about this today. But luckily she now. I mean, and I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about what does our race of people do at this point comes to we know that the institutions that we're participating in don't have our best interests at heart. And then there's a disparity and there's a double standard that we obviously see between us and other people that compete in the same races. It doesn't really matter what the institution is. It's at this point it's pretty obvious that we don't get the same treatment that everyone else gets. If you want to think on essentially what you were saying earlier, so like what is our response to this? Because I don't see it ending. I don't see this ending. I see if we're participate in these institutions that have already been established, not having our best interest in mind. What is it up to us to do at this point?
Up to this point, since we are up out of our necks and beyond of the misfair treatment that Black people, no matter what level, what skill, what makeup of society that we are in, if it has something to do with somebody that's white, there's going to be a separation of treatment. What I want us to finally do, and there have been a lot of like-minded individuals such as myself speaking on this, is leave them alone. Obviously, we're not going to get what we want from another set of people? Why are we subjecting ourselves continuously to everything that they create, instead of saying, okay, since you want to do it that way, I and my friend and my rest of my people and my family and my friends are going to do it another way? Who is attracting the money coming in? Is it the athletes, the actors, the rappers, the singers, or is it the owners? Clear as day, it's the athletes, the rappers, the actors, and everybody else who has the skill in which the people are paying to see. So we don't need to see LeBron in the NBA to watch him play basketball. Wherever LeBron goes, people that play basketball, that's where people will go and follow him. No matter where Beyonce, I'm not even going to use Beyonce because, you know, that's some stuff I heard about her. But anyway, just using anybody, you know what I mean? Wherever they go, we are going to follow because they have the skill that we all want to see be displayed. You know what I mean? There is something, but we have to unify first. We have to grow some sort of stability. Peace and love, Mr. Lewis. We have to respect the fact that we have differences in ourselves, but we have one common ground and one factor. There's one enemy that exists, and it's not us. We have our own issues internally with our own people, yes, but it's like a family. It's like a family, having turmoil or beef. Nobody from the outside can fix the inside family squabble or issue. It's going to have to take the family from within to fix that issue. Nobody's coming from the outside, coming in and saying, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And it's just going to happen that way. It's an eternal issue, which needs to be fixed eternally. But on the external source of the matter, there is one common factor and denominator. And this is not a hate speech. This is not a, I'm not trying to, turn this podcast and this channel into something of a racial thing. You know what I mean? But we're just tackling and pointing out something that's obvious to the naked eye. We need our own. We need to have our own. Own everything. I'm not just talking about our own, pro league, but our own country, which takes land. And and we have to start formulating and bringing things into fruition how we want it to work and how we want it to run. But going down the same rabbit hole, following and being compliant and obedient to one group of people who are just totally ramsacking and bum rush, it's literally it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like we're following along somebody who don't treat us right. No. Go ahead,
and that's how I actually wanted to, maybe on another day we'll speak on him, but that's why I actually wanted to have James Baldwin as one of our mentions, because I think that was very interesting when he was a speaker. Essentially what he was saying was he has nothing, he can't prove that white people are, I can't determine that. But what I can determine is that when I go to your schools are doing racist things. When I work at your jobs treat me and pay me differently than you pay everybody else.
Right.
and it goes down the line for everything else as well. So essentially, what he got is like so America wants African Americans to participate in the American society under the basis of a possibility that will get treated equally.
Right.
But what probably is going to happen, or the probability that has been seen over the time of America's history, is that the probability of us being treated as equals to the rest of our society is not going to happen. So,
well, it's not going to happen.
James Baldwin doing the same thing. Yeah.
No.
Right. James Baldwin spoke on this. He was like, at what point am I, as an individual and as a man who's supposed to provide and protect not only my family, but also you have that responsibility as well, and say, yo, these institutions aren't treating my people right.
Right.
And as the leader, am I going to keep leading them down that rabbit hole, or am I going to go ahead and do something different? Now, what happened with James Baldwin was he moved to France or Italy, and he said he's homeless. And when he first moved there, and he said, I was safer there homeless than my luxury I had in America.
That's deep.
So,
good point, son. That's deep.
Yeah. So, again, like the point you've been making, at this point, the facts are there. It's a matter of us to essentially just pick ourselves up and do for self at this point. In every facet, we have Dr. Umar Johnson, who's been trying to work on opening schools for Black people. And then we have some other proponents out there pushing that. But we definitely need to have a more collective initiative to actually get this done. Because I see it, there's individuals out here, these individuals like Dr. Umar Johnson and several others, the Nation of Islam, for example. But there needs to be a collective effort to achieve the goal of being independent from these European institutions, because they're not going to give us where we deserve in life. And like you were saying earlier, you can't expect anyone to give you what you need out of life. You have to be able to provide that for yourself. We're not doing that right now. So I think that has to be our goal and our shared collective ambition to get to.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Man. Absolutely. And it's one way or another. I don't know if you feel the paradigm shift, happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like it's something that you can obviously see that is going on, and there's nothing that you can do or what anybody can do to stop it. You know what I mean? So it's something that's happening that is on some divine level. You know,
it's like the Thanos snap. It was inevitable. They couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? No matter how they did it. Remember when the part where Dr. Strange said he looked at over a million, different scenarios, meaning that he went through a million
possible outcomes, right?
He went through all of that just to see the result. See what I'm saying? He had to go through it first,
right? See
how the result ended up, and then say, "All right, we can't use that one." You know what I'm saying? That's us.
Right.
We've attempted and been attempting used multiple different ways to try to receive the peace and equality and justice from this one group of people. And nothing has worked thus far. But the almighty, powerful Allah God knows One thing we haven't tried yet, and that is coming. But he said, "I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you do this. Not only am I gonna help you do this, but I'm gonna come down and tell somebody what I need you to know for you to start doing this on your own." You see what I'm saying? Because there's no point of praying for change and you're not willing to get up and participate in the change. You see? There's no point of even just being a lip professor of hope and thought and faith, but you're not willing to make the right decisions and tough choices. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is easy. But you have to separate yourself from not just external, oh, you're white, we're black type of situation. It's you're evil. Whether you're black, Hispanic, white, you're evil. I don't need to be around you. We don't need to be around each other. We can't coexist. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the eyes want to be turned on the inside. And now what we're doing as far as our own selves is pointing out and exposing the hypocrisy in us. And who is the agent amongst us? That's what we're doing that's what we need to do to ourselves. We already know who the agents are amongst us who's killing each other. We can see them. We know who they are. Okay? And they're either gonna have to clean up and atone for what they've done, or they're gonna have to leave us alone too. And everybody who is peaceful and righteous and who wants just a brand new system of however you want to call it, government, pro-team, pro-ownership, God shall make all things new. And if you're not tired of the old and you don't really want to participate in bringing in the new, then you stay your punk butt, scared, fearful butt on that end. And those who are fearless and don't care whether the truth hurts you or not, and we want peace and independence, we all go over here. You know what I mean? And everything that we can't do with you, we're going to do it with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And we are that powerful, man. You know what I mean? We are that powerful. Everything resides on us. It's our backs that everybody is riding on and benefiting from. But we're not riding on our own. We're being allowed to be
me,
free.
it's like I know you don't like the movie.
We live YouTube.
But the fourth continuation to the Matrix. When Neo essentially for most of the movie.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's not the real Matrix 4.
I know that. That's why I probably like it. I know you don't.
No. That's not how she. That's not how she put in the book. No, don't think that's the
right.
Matrix 4.
No, understand, but this is just for the context of the conversation. Where I'm seeing a relation between what we're talking about in the movie. What it was the scenes in which you see Neo is dependent on the blue pill.
Right.
And when he goes without it, what he thinks is like his mind, disease is actually the reality of the world. Right. So I think he goes like a couple days without taking the blue pill, and he's remembering who he really is, and then starts seeing the world for what it really is. Right. Community, we're so dependent to the system without even realizing we are the builders of the system. We are the creators. We are the innovators. And so in the movie, you see him switching in between, trying to figure out. He. It's so crazy how they do it, right? They give him the information. Taking the blue pill, the Matrix gives him the information that he created this game, this novelty, and which was actually his real life. And they minimized it to a novel game that he was the creator of. And come to find out, what you were dreaming of, the reality. That reality, that game that he gave you was actually the truth of your his. So when you look at our community, like, we've been asleep for so long, these blue pills, and all that, and being asleep and just cruising because it's comfortable.
Right.
But every now and then we have our lapses, you know what I'm saying? We may not take our blue pill for a minute, and we have our lapses. We're like,
call it the glitch. There's a glitch.
WTF is going on? Right.
That's the glitch.
And I think I hope at this point, you know what I'm saying, guys, like, we start ourselves, and like you said, it's gonna be hard. We're gonna go through withdrawals, but at the end of it, there's gonna be so much beauty because we're gonna be independent of needing this society that we currently have, and have our own, and shine a light on the fact that we are the builders of this society and everyone before it.
So what goes on with that?
So you know what I'm saying? I hope
what goes on with that as well is policing ourselves, becoming our own security, becoming our own peacemakers in our own community, and handling situations with people who have a conflict the appropriate way. Not every situation that's built conflict with anger needs to be dealt with a gun. I'm talking about with this now police. Not every situation needs to have a firearm on the scene. If you and I are beefing about or arguing about money, and you won't give me my money, then I take matters in my hands and I civilly and contact the authorities. It's about money. So why is the officer who's coming to resolve our issue and bring resolution is bringing a gun? What are you bringing a firearm for?
The de-escalator brings an escalator.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like that's not required. If I called you and said, yo, somebody broke into my house, you know what I mean? Or hey, somebody just robbed me, gunpoint. Okay, that's takes another type of officer, you know what I mean, possibly, to come along with protection because there's a firearm displayed or the firearm being exposed out there. Maybe, possibly. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not every situation.
We both, you know what I'm saying, working, right. We both work in mental health. So we both know time we want to de-escalate situation.
Right.
Proactive thing to do would be to remove any objects or anything that can escalate the situation. So, for example, if you know for my case, I had a kid that liked to throw chairs. So to proactively resolve him throwing chairs, we remove chairs from any area that he was in.
Duh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so obvious, right?
Right.
And that work. I don't know why we don't apply that with police.
Simple
we do the
logic.
Direct eye. We bring guns to a talk fight.
Right. And then somebody gets shot. Well, you the one who brought the gun. If you ain't bring the gun, then there wouldn't be a shooting. You know what I mean? Not everything involves that much of force. Because the person who's carrying that, they already feeling, you know, more powerful than any other man who he doesn't think is carrying a weapon himself. If I have my weapon, I know you don't, I'ma feel a little bit more powerful than you. That's just an automatic. You know what I'm saying? There's something I have that you don't know I have, that I know I can really hurt you or kill you. Right? That's like somebody who knows martial arts. They don't walk around telling everybody, I know martial arts. I can kick your ass. They are humble. They are walking around humbly to where you don't even know that they know martial arts, because they know I can really kick your butt. But I'm not going to be a bully and do that just because I know I can do it. You know what I mean? But we are. Some people are turned backwards. Some people want to hurt somebody because they do have that which they can hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And they can't with their hands. So that weapon, that tool, it's a fixated. You know what I mean? It could twist your thought process. You know what I mean? And make you do something that you will regret for the rest of your life. But back to it, you know what I mean? The whole situation with the, you know, we need our own everything, man. You know what I mean? Our own community needs to start policing ourselves. You know what I mean? With the Nation of Islam, who are not carrying weapons. This is where, in which I'm a part of, and this is proudly, and this is where I would want the unity to occur. And one day it will be this. You know what I mean? It will be to the point where in our community, in our country, we call the police, the peace officers, they call peace officers. It's going to be a separate line. You know what I mean? Either a 912 to dial for hostile situation emergencies, or some other, you know, option to use for just a common, you know, argument or dispute to settle. You know what I mean? Like we gonna implement that, man. You know what I mean? I seen it, you know, from in the dream. You know what I mean? That we are going to be free. We are going to have our own. It's just a matter of who is going to be around to see it. That's the question.
All right.
That's the question. Who's going to be around, and are you going to be willing and peaceful? What you got?
Before we move on, Pops, to the next topic, anything else you want to add to the Shikari Richardson, Valiva thing that was going on?
Salute, Shikari. No matter what we have to back our sister, man. You know what I mean? There was a lot of
absolutely.
You know, there was a lot of.
I think there's another issue. Every time we have one.
Go ahead, son.
Every time we have one of our figures in controversy, I think we need to take a more, just like every other race does, a more concerted effort to back them up, like you spoke on. Yo, we got them out there fending for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's that one individual versus all of media.
Right.
And we're over here on the sidelines. Yo, hope you figure it out. No, we gotta be backing them up.
Nobody else is going to do it.
Because, like I said,
yeah,
right. And we have examples of other races when, you know what I'm saying, one of their public figures is attacked or is in controversy in the media. they're right behind them.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? We're participating in a lot of things. So I you know what I'm saying? I wish we would participate in that more.
Right.
And being there for one another. And I think that would also strengthen that unity that we need to see. Whether it's someone that's famous or someone that uh gets attention because of the acts they do or whatever you have it, like the story we do with this brother that we have that recorded the video.
Right.
I think of him as well. We should be, because he was fired because of he wanted to release the information, but was fired because of it. Same with him. We should be back and figuring out what we can do for him for giving us the information that we'll be able to talk on pretty soon on the podcast. But yeah, that sense of unity has to be there. Because how it normally plays out is that, and I see, for example, when I've gone to court for the traffic court, you have the line will be full of African Americans, right? And they get on the stand, and it's usually just them. No lawyer, no representation, no support against the judge, and essentially we're just fed to the wolves. We're grinding in the meat hall and it's crazy to see.
Right, and being subjected to a people whose thinking is not like our own. Remember that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're being judged. We're being subjected to those who think on a very evil thought, which does not consist of our own. Not all of us. You know what I'm saying? But we are all subjected to this treatment. You know what I'm saying? And given crazy numbers of time and days in jail for nothing. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't make sense to me, man. I literally feel like, you know what I mean, we are still slaves. We're just not in chains and have to stay in a certain, we actually got to stay in a certain area because they confined us in that area. But you know, I just feel like we still haven't tasted true freedom, man. This isn't real freedom. It's a make believe. It's a make believe, like the movie The Fake Matrix 4 you just described. It's a make believe world. I'm gonna make believe that they're free. They won't be able to, they won't contest anything. They won't really truly fight for anything as worth value. We fight for the dumbest stuff that we think is valuable. You know what I'm saying? Or you stepped on my sneakers. Or you popped my gold chain. Come on, man. These people took land from us, man. They robbed us. Come on. And now they serve over us. They only give us the options in which they choose themselves. And then they say, okay, here are the two options for you. Which one? The red pill, the blue pill. Republican, the Democrat. Which one you want? That's the pill. I say spit both of them out. I'm gonna eat me some herbs. F for drug. That's what I say.
Your inner Rastafari is coming out, Pops.
You know what I mean? It's for anger, man. For us, it's just like, yo, man, we still, you know what I mean? When I hear what people talking about, you know, we're going to boycott the Grammys and all this and that, the third. Yo, man, we still worrying about being accepted by people who are really, truly less talented and gifted as we are. That doesn't make any sense to me, man. None.
You know what's crazy though about that? That mentality isn't just fully. It is crazy rapping in the African American community, but just as a way of thinking, that type of mentality runs rapid with people, in essentially putting more faith in other people's thoughts about what they should be doing instead of going within self and doing self. So essentially, what I'm saying is like, there's some people out there that are amazing whatever they do, but they put so much thought into how other people what they do that it handicaps them so much and cripples them so much that they don't even give light on their own talents. So I say that to say there's probably rappers out there that ain't rapping just because they're a friend or their sibling or parent, family member, or whoever said they're not good enough, and they took what someone else told them and made that person's thoughts their own instead of conceiving their own thoughts about themselves and growing from that. So for me, I don't care what anyone says about what I do when it comes to my music or deciding to podcast or endeavors. I have my business endeavor that I've been working on. Yo, if I was to take into account other people's thoughts on what I do, I wouldn't be doing anything I'm doing right now.
You wouldn't be who you are, man.
So
you would be who they want you to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So I say this to our people, and then anybody else that's watching out there. Do you, and then ask later. If you want somebody's opinion, get their opinion after you did it. And I say that when it comes to things that are not negative. So I'm not saying, yo, kill somebody and then ask questions later, like, yo, should I kill? Nah, I'm talking about, for example, you want to create a business. Go ahead and create the business. Just go ahead and do it. And if it feels great, you can go tell people about it and go promote it. And if it doesn't work, guess what? You can go ahead and hit the chalkboard, they say. Go back to the drawing boards and figure a way that it does work. But before you conceive an idea or thought of something that you want to do, before you take action, don't get somebody else's opinion if it's something that's of positive. Because 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is they're going to talk you out of doing what you should have been doing.
Well, they're gonna input their fear of doing it inside of you, because that's what this
right, and which is gonna corrupt it.
Right. That's why I always tell you, man. Tell you, brother.
And that's not to say
don't talk about it. Be about it. How many times do I have to tell you? Stop telling everything to everybody. Because not everybody wants you successful. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want this to even thought. Even though somebody doesn't speak it out their mouth, just a mere thought. Because our brains is powerful, man. But somebody who's thinking it, I don't want that person to move on. I don't want them to get that promotion. I don't want that person to get that opportunity. I want it. If they're thinking in their mind, that's just as bad. You know what I'm saying? Why would but they can't think of it if they don't know. You know what I mean? I can't think of you're failing if I don't know what you're trying to do. I only should know things when you finish them. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When you finish the project, when you finish not everybody should be granted that much knowledge of what people are trying to do for themselves. Because not everybody is happy for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that we can't all look at each other, you know what I mean, as whether you got family, you know what I mean, whether you're supposed to be friends or close friends or best friends. man, you know, it hurts, man, when you don't get that support from somebody that you are in love with. You know what I mean? You have love for family and friends, but it hurts, man, when you tell them something and they don't congratulate, or they don't say, oh, go for it. I got your back. I support you. You know what I mean? You don't want the fakeness to be, expressed. You know what I'm saying? You just want the support, but not everybody is going to give that to you. Even when you don't tell everybody everything, and you just go ahead and just do what it is that you set your mind to do, they still ain't going to have that many words to say to you. You know what I mean? So but imagine if you would have told them what you planned on doing before you did it, and they haven't supported you or gave you any kudos, at the fitness project. If you would have told them that before, damn, they probably would have killed your whole life before you even had the moment to even, get out your mind. But that, it's sad, man. But it's a lesson that we have to learn, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, Pops, before we move on to the next topic, I want to just go ahead and shout out our channel real quick. Guys that are watching, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. That helps with the algorithm a lot. Also helps with you being able to tune into the live broadcastings. Because essentially when you subscribe, YouTube sends you a notification. So go ahead and subscribe. Also leave a comment. We love to be able to interact with you guys as well as you're watching the live. Essentially what we do is with your comments on the screen, if they're of reason, and then we'll definitely interact with them comments. And we love being able to with you guys. Also, in our description box below, there is a donations tab. Go ahead and click that if you guys want to leave a donation to the channel. That also supports us as well. We appreciate you guys. All right, Pops, we want to go ahead and get into the next topic of conversation. We kind of touch on it just a little bit, but not too much. So I'll go ahead and play the video for us, and then we'll go ahead and speak on it afterwards. All right?
Okay. Sounds good, son.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get that pulled up real quick.
Oh, shucks. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Fair use.
Fair use. Fair use.
I think this is what I really want to talk about, because we don't even delve in this anyways. But just the magnitude of this is just insane to me.
Here we go. Coming?
Yeah. Played for me earlier.
Hold on. Be patient with us, world. You know how internet is. There's no need to You know, try to sugarcoat it.
I don't know what the issue is. It played for me pretty well earlier. Let me go ahead and
All right. But I mean, the video is going to tell it all. But while the video, trying to get the video up, basically we want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is the process of the trash or the garbage in which we accumulate and throw away has now surfaced and exposed that what they do with it, that's why you shouldn't eat pork. Leave that pig alone, because they grind the trash and they grind trash, grind it, and toss it into the food for pigs. So it's like trash being regurgitated into trash all over again. And we eating it. Well, you eat it. I ain't eat pork since I was 12. But jeez, you gotta get that video.
For those of you that do eat pork, please reconsider.
Yes.
You should have already been reconsidering anyways before this, but at this point, there's no reason, there's no valid reason to eat this.
You know, some people do that deceptive intelligence by telling people, oh, well, chickens do this, and that. That still doesn't take away what they do with pork. I'm sorry. That still doesn't. I mean, yeah, chicken is filthy, but the pig and what they do with it is the filthiest. Come on, so we gotta show that video, man.
Yeah, we're all about taking care of the body.
Come on, we gotta show that
So
video.
counterintuitive. Yeah, hopefully it loads. Huh. It loaded early. I don't know what the issue is.
Oh shucks, they probably blocked it because they don't want that.
If it doesn't, if the video doesn't play, hopefully it does. Cross my fingers. I'll have the audio on my phone so we can video out the video. I will have to.
Still ain't playing?
No, it says it's loading though.
All right, so let me read this article.
Let me just give it one more, like 30 seconds. If not, we'll go ahead and play the audio.
All right, but I'm gonna just read the article from the USDA. While you get that up, all right?
Good.
You see this? What swine growers need to know about garbage feeding. As part of its mission to protect the health of American agriculture, the United States Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services works to prevent foreign animal diseases from entering the U.S. and harming our nation's livestock and poultry. One way that the APHIS does this is to enforce the Swine Health Protection Act, which provides rules for feeding human food waste to pigs. Let me read that again. Which provides rules.
Hey, Pops, can I stop you right there? I got the video pulled up for us.
All right, go.
Where I go ahead and play it.
All right. Put your food down, whoever's eating right now. If you look at this and you're eating, just put the food down for a second. It's about to get close.
Former worker at a food processing plant posted footage on TikTok allegedly showing how plastics and other waste was being mixed in with pig food.
This is waste from dishes. They all going in here. Up to the grinder. They grinds it out and turns it to
Emmanuel Moore was a certified maintenance technician at one of Smithfield Foods' feed processing plants. In the footage posted to TikTok, Moore shows what he says are piles and piles of old, moldy food still in its packaging being ground up, shredded, and put into pig feed.
This is what it looked like when it's this stuff ought to be eaten by the hog, and then the hogs are killed, and then we eat them. I felt like I had to tell the world, I've never seen nothing like this. This can't be like legal.
A waste to animals is called garbage feeding, and it is in 27 states. But when it comes to putting packaging materials in the food,
Thinking all don't even matter. Don't even matter. Plastic cardboard boxes.
is less for publication from the Association of American Feed. Not contain packaging materials like plastics, glass, and metal, among others. Some say garbage feeding prevents food waste and lowers costs, but others wonder whether those benefits are worth the risk of disease transmission and plastic contamination. We reached out to Smithfield Foods about the footage. The company claims that they purchase, quote, pre-consumer bread and other baked products from these manufacturers to create high-quality animal feed, end quote. Smithfield also claims they have special equipment designed to separate the food from the packaging and referred to Moore as a former disgruntled temporary employee. Moore says he was fired within 2 days of posting his first video, but says that even if he hadn't been,
My morals or my ethics wouldn't let me work there long term anyway, because I'll be discussing with myself, helping Erica that. I'm not a doctor, but I try to save lives.
Wow.
All right, so that was guys.
Horrible.
Well, I was right.
Nasty. Disgusting. What are we eating? We eating garbage.
It's crazy because this is what they said, right? So back in Pops, back in 2004, it was totally legal. From 2004 in previous years, this was totally plastic was legally okay to be consumed by the animals in which we eat. Now in 2008 is when they came out and said, oh, now plastic is not allowed to be eaten, consumed by the foods that we eat. But this man was recently fired. So even though in 2008 it was known that this is not supposed to be allowed to happen anymore, it's obviously still taking place. So essentially what we saw in that video is them taking it looked mostly like old baked goods.
It looked
not,
like
and not
trash.
not separating it from the trash, correct, the plastics or the containers that they were from, and just blending it all into this filmy, I don't know what you want to call that, just shredded trash that they're feeding directly to the pigs that are going right on your dinner plates. And we already talked about we don't consume pig anyways, because we know that the pig likes to eat trash. But this is just a step further at this point where there's no respect for the animal. And if there's no respect given to the animal, the respect level that they're giving to the animal is the same respect level that they're giving to you. So I mean, me personally, if you're someone that after watching that and you're still eating Smithfield bacon, ham, and all that other nonsense that they feed you, you have no self-respect, and I can't be around people that have no self-respect. Whew, God.
That's
Jesus
that's what
Christ.
I said. You know what I mean? When we expect people to treat us properly and respectfully, but we don't treat our bodies properly, respectfully. We don't put into our bodies what it needs. We put in our bodies what tastes good. You can't survive healthy like that. And I know the mind is going to say what people always, we'll die over something. We always got to die for something. Yeah, but you don't want to be the cause of your own death, do you? And then who's to say it's going to be swift? You might have to suffer. And not just you, but your family suffers, man. Your loved ones suffer.
Right. I think I saw a interview and they were essentially saying how they were trying to point out to the gentleman that, because he was making the same point that you were making, how some people say, "Oh, I'll lose a foot if that means
right,
because of what I'm eating." But it's not just you. In this instance, from this case I was watching, was a father,
right.
And the interviewer was trying to get him to understand, like you are a role model to all these other people, and so essentially what you do is what they'll do. So what you're saying is you're okay with killing yourself and your family,
right.
And that's where the guy started to realize it. But when it came to himself as an individual, he didn't mind. He knew the risk. He knew that
right.
I could lose a foot over eating this.
Right.
I'ma still do it.
That's what cigarette smokers say. Cigarette smokers say the same thing. Oh, we want to die over something. Yeah, but when you die, it ain't gonna be good. Cause your death, if God doesn't take you out, you know what I mean, with through an accident or God forbid, anything that you can't control. You can't control what other people do in accidents or anything like that. That's why it's called an accident. But what you're doing is purposeful. And you're doing it with knowledge. So it's one thing to do something and not know what the result would be. But then when you do know the result of a certain act and you continue on doing it, and then you suffer from it, and then what happens? Your family feels sorry. Your family goes through the struggle and goes through that same hurt, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, inconveniently. Because people got to take off of work or change their plans to take you to a hospital appointment or a doctor's appointment or get surgery or even just take care of your ass. Pardon my language. You know what I mean? But I know this very well because of my father. You know what I mean? And my frustration, I had to release onto him one day. You know what I mean? I hope he forgave me for it. But I just had to, man. Because it didn't make sense to me why he would allow himself to get to that point. You know what I mean? Why do we allow ourselves to get to the sickly point of no return? And then we put the stress and reliance on our families to take care of us. Because we couldn't take care of ourselves when we had the control and power to do so. Do we see the mind screw up? We are totally backwards. We were turned inside out, upside down, in the worst ways. We don't even eat the right food. If you ain't eating the right food, you ain't thinking the right thoughts. Cause they all go hand in hand. You know what I mean? That's what helps you think. You know what I mean? That's what keeps your body healthy and energized. You know how you feel when you're tired and you're sluggish? Your mind ain't clear. You know what I mean? Your mind is thinking, oh, I need to go rest. F all this, damn all that. My focus ain't there. I just need to rest. I'm sluggish. You know what I'm saying? Think about that mentality versus the one who is properly taking care of themselves and eating the right food, exercising. Well, they full of energy, always boosting them off the wall. Boom, 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 boom. But you over here just got drunk the night before, or you just ate a big meal and now you're full, or you're drunk and hungover. You're sluggish. You can't think right, man. You know what I'm saying? It goes hand in hand, man, and keep on looking for this system to feed you. It's ridiculous, man. I'm tired. Everybody say they sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired. They ain't just tired as in like I'm fed up, but I'm beyond that point, man. I'm beyond the point of even, you know what I mean, saying, you know what, to some of my own family. I'm tired of trying to get you to look at things on a different on the level of which is the reality, and stop saying to me, "Oh no, we just can't do it all on our own." Well, with that thought process, no, you just said it, so I know what you think. That's okay, but I'll still be over here. I love you, but this is really the meaning of loving you from afar. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do sometimes. That's what we have to do.
Right.
What you got?
And shout out to the brother that risked his occupation to let the American people see this video.
Yeah, because he saw that.
And like he said at the end, regardless of my tenure working for this company, right, he felt obligated to his morals and beliefs told him, you gotta let the people know what is going on. So shouts out to him, because we wouldn't even know that this is happening.
Because
luckily it takes no effect on me and you, because we don't participate in eating that kind of animal. But for those that still do, please take heed to this video. And there's other documentaries out there as well that pertain to how they treat the animals that you and I eat. And really have some consideration and reflection on essentially what you can do yourself in order to not have this continue. That means that you have to stop eating these kind of animals. Do that, please. Pops, go ahead and promote that book. The book of the day. Yes, sir. Book of the day, How to Eat to Live.
This is your medicine. This is your brain on the right drug. Please get
How to Eat to Live.
Volume 1 and 2.
That video was a good example, essentially, guys, of the exact opposite. If you want to know how to eat to die quicker, continue eating Smithfield's food. They are feeding you garbage, literal garbage.
Continue looking at the food pyramid and saying, "Oh, everything on the food pyramid is exactly what my body needs." Welcome to death. And on that note, what you want to do?
Hey, Pops, go ahead and do the people the favor of showing them the book again, the How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Gladly.
Yes, sir. Please get your copy. I know they have copies on Amazon. Pops, is there any other place people can get a copy of that book to have in their house and to be able to learn from?
At the local, your local mosque. Wherever city that you're in, here in Richmond, mosque number 24, but you can also purchase them on NOI.shirts. NOIshirts.com. NOIshirts.com. You can get all of their literature and NOI paraphernalia, shirts, clothing, everything's on that website. But NOIshirts.com, you can purchase their book, How to Eat to Live, Volume 1 and 2. Yes, sir.
He says NOIshirts.com.
Yep.
No problem. I'm gonna go ahead and put that link in the on the banner that's scrolling underneath both of us.
Indeed. Yes, sir.
Man,
Please,
after something like that, yeah.
Yeah, man. Trash. They grind it. It like saying like, damn. I didn't know you could grind. You
know what it is? It's just substance. It's just substance. It's just trash, really. But it's just
trash. Garbage on top of garbage.
You might as well just be giving them shit, or that's at that level, yo. That is what the animals that you are eating. And it's not like mushrooms or plants where they have the capability to decompose these materials.
Right.
When you eat animal that is eating that is going directly into the meat, the blood. There's no way to cook it all. That's what I'm trying to get into. There's no cooking the bacon till it's crispy. And now I don't have to worry about the risk of what we've just seen. No, once the animal has eaten that, if you decide to eat that animal, it is in you. I'm sure all of us have seen the food chain. We've all learned about food chains. It's called I forgot something, bioaccumulation. That's the word. You accumulate whatever you consume. So whatever is in whatever that you ate, you now have it. So for example, celery has I'm just throwing out, orange has vitamin C in it. So when you eat the orange, guess what you now have? You have the vitamin C from that orange.
Whatever's in that
orange. It works the same way with pollutants as with the positive things as well. So when you eat that pork, if that pork had any of that in it, you have all of that in you as well. And the worst part about bioaccumulation is the higher you go up in the food chain, the acceleration of the accumulation goes on. So for example, when you eat that pig that's been eating trash, you are actually worse off than the pig that ate the trash. So guys, please get your book if you don't have it yet on How to Eat to Live from the website below on NOIshirts.com. Also, I know for a fact it's on Amazon as well, so you can get your copy on there as well. Woo! That's that, and for that we're out. It's been another episode of TwoTreys podcast. This has been episode 12.
TwoTreys.
You got anything else you want to let the people know?
Stay tuned for tomorrow, man. Next topic, next episode.
Word. We'll be going live again on Wednesday, guys, which is like my pop said, tomorrow. So please stay tuned. Pops, I'll get us out of here with a song as always. And with that, like I said, it's been TwoTreys podcast.
TwoTreys.
Yes, sir. Pops, you have a blessed day. Walaikum salam, Pops. Yes, sir. Love you as well. Whew, man, that's a crazy one, ain't it?
Ain't that off on the high note?
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Love you too, Pops. I'll go ahead and play that song and get us out of here. Y'all have a blessed day, guys. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel.
Please like, share.
If you want to leave a donation, that will be in the description box.
First father-son duo, man. You can't match this. What? We out of here.
Alrighty, guys. Y'all have a great day.
And all of my limits can die, and all of you limits gon' fail. Cause all of my demons from hell. Cause all my limits can die, and all you limits gon' fail. Cause all of my shit is so high, and so my city when it drops, none of my shit gon' fail. Cause all of my shit so hot, you know that my shit gon' sell. Cause all of my limits can die, and all you limits could die. Cause all of y'all niggas ain't real. For real, for real. For real, cause all you limits could die. Cause all of y'all shit so whack, and all of y'all shit don't talk, and all of your shit don't walk the same way that you walk. So all of y'all shit gon' flop, cause none of y'all niggas is real. For real. Cause all of y'all shit could flop, and all of y'all shit ain't real. And that's just me talking. For real. All of my shit go high, cause all of my limits can die, and all of you limits could die. Cause all of my shit go high, and none of my shit's gon' fail. For real, for real. Cause all of you limits could die, cause all of y'all niggas so whack, and all of your shit don't clock the same way that it talks. And all of y'all shit don't walk the same way that you walk. Oh my god, all of y'all niggas ain't real. Cause all of my limits could die, cause all of my shit when it drops is gon' sell. Cause all this shit that I talk is for real, and all this shit that I walk is for real. None of y'all could walk like me, none of y'all could talk like me, none of y'all could do my thing, none of y'all could swim like me, none of you can fly away like I can, none of you can pray like I can. All of my shit's so hot, and all of my shit's so real, and all of my shit ain't gon' fly, cause all of my shit's so real. And all of you limits could die, and all of my limits could die, and all of you limits gon' die, and all of my limits gon' die. Cause all of my shit is so real, and all of my shit is so hot, and all of my shit when it drops, you know it's gon' sell. For real, for real. Cause all of you limits could die. Cause all of you limits could die, and all of my limits gon' die. Cause all of my shit is so real.